cold. It's cold. It's cold. It's cold. It's cold. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my garage. Today I wanted to talk about the Harlequin a little bit. I've gotten a lot of questions about the car. What is it? Why is it the way it is? And then other people that know exactly what it is, they just want to hear more about it. Before we do that, I'm going to move this out and I'm going to move the Harlequin over. Actually, I kind of want to see if the Mercedes will fit underneath the Corvette if I raised up the Corvette just like a little bit more. So we're going to try it. Oh no! It is dead. I do have a jump pack though, so I'm gonna use that real quick. This is why you always have a jump pack charging at all times. Right there. Turn it on. Neutral, okay. There we go! I'm telling you guys, you should always have one of these charging in your garage for just in case things happen like that. Ugh. I'm pretty sure I have to lift the Corvette up just like maybe one lock, maybe two, I don't know. And I think the Mercedes will skim right underneath here and fit. Lower it down the locks. After putting it up to this level, it's pretty obvious. Probably gonna fit. It fits. And it's at stock height too, like all that wheel gap. So when this thing's lower on the ground this summer, it'll be even easier to fit under here. Nice. I just realized this would be an awesome opportunity to do a garage door race. Both doors are open, might as well do it. Since the first one I did in the first video, I have not done a single other garage door race. I promise, I have not practiced this or anything. By the way, guys, the point of a garage door race is the garage doors are different speeds, but you want them to hit the ground at the same time. It's not really a race, but that's what we call it, garage door racing. If you guys couldn't figure it out from the first video, you didn't know what it was. I don't know if I invented it, but I will take some credit for it. So here we go. Okay. Slow guy, and then, okay. Oh, maybe? Oh, not today. Did not win the game today. That was closer than the first time I did it though. It is cold out, 25 degrees. I kind of like this. I kind of like this setup right here. Like all the color, and then the white wagon over there. All right, so we're gonna talk about the Harlequin. A lot of the questions and comments I get on this car are not from people that know what it is, it's from people that have no idea what it is. Why did you paint your car like that? Is this just a junkyard car that you put together yourself? And the always popular, I don't get it. Which, if I didn't know what it was, I don't think I'd get it either. So I'm gonna start off by going over a little bit of Harlequin history, then we're gonna talk about my car specifically, and at the end, we're gonna go over some questions that I got from people on Instagram. For those of you that are watching and have no idea what this thing is, this is a 1996 Volkswagen Golf GL Harlequin. Volkswagen made them just like this from the factory, minus the wheels. I did that myself. As far as the body panel colors go, this came from the factory just like this. I know what you're thinking. Why would Volkswagen ever do this? This looks dumb. I don't get it. We'll get into that. There's been a few people online that have done research on this topic as to why they were made, and here's the general gist of it. Basically, in 1995, Volkswagen was looking to take things to the car shows, like the international car shows, the big ones that come to your town, They wanted to take some to the car shows in 1996 that would get them noticed. People talking about what's at the Volkswagen booth, all that stuff. This was their idea. Basically, if you saw something like this at a booth at your car show, you would for sure text your buddies. I guess in 1996, nobody was really texting, but you would call your buddies, tell them they got to go check out this weird thing at the Volkswagen booth. So they made 4 of them to take to the car shows, and that's it. That's all they were going to make. But when they took them to the car shows, enough people asked, are you guys going to make these things? That they're like, I mean, if enough people are asking, we might as well, right? So they made 60 of them. Why don't we make 200 more? These things are flying off the shelves. This will go great. Dealerships to sell 200 more was kind of hard to do. So some of them actually ended up being sprayed different colors just so they could sell them. Now, it's said to believe that there's about 264. That's about the number that everybody goes off of. Could be less, there could be more. We don't really know exactly. Today, there's believed to be a little over 100 left that we know of. Always one sitting in the back of some old lady's garage that she hasn't moved it or touched it for years and it still exists. But as of right now, there is a little over 100 of these cars left. In 1995 and 1996, Volkswagen also made Harlequin Polos over for the European market. We didn't get any of those cars, and they made a lot more of them over there. I think the number's somewhere around 3,500. As for Golfs, they only made 264. Now, other than the paint, there are a couple other things to distinguish that it is a Harlequin. The seats. This pattern in the seats right here was specific to Harlequin, and also they got some special treatment, and the gauge cluster is actually silver, which I think was only in VR6 cars or maybe GTIs, something like that. So really, other than the paint, the seats, and the gauge cluster, there's nothing all that special about Harlequins. But that's really all it needed to be an insane car for a company to go out there and say, we're gonna make these. And they came in 4 different color combinations. I'll throw up a diagram right here of what the color combinations look like. Those are actually Harlequin Polos. It's the same color pattern on the Harlequin Golfs. This is just a better example. This is a great picture that shows from the side what they look like. Now, mine is considered a green base. What does that mean? Basically, if you take every panel off the car that's removable, basically hood, bumper, fenders, doors, all that stuff, you are left with a pistachio green base. That is the base color. So when we're talking about base colors, like you see in the picture, each base color has its own different color combination as to what the color the front doors are, the rear doors, the hatch, the bumper, the hood. That whole combination is different depending on which base color you have. And that means 66 of each base. So technically, mine is one of 66 green bases ever made. Also, another thing about the Harlequins is they did come with an automatic or a manual. I happen to find one with a manual. I've been told before that the manuals are more rare. I don't know if that's true or not, but everybody I've heard from says the manuals are more rare. Every Harlequin is a Golf GL, which is the most base of base. And I think all the ones that really have a bunch of options is from the 60 run. There's apparently one that there has a sunroof, there's one with cruise control, weird things like that that none of the other Harlequins got, and that makes those cars a little bit more special. I think I was probably 17 or 18 when I first heard that Harlequins existed. Buddy showed me a picture of one, and he was a Volkswagen guy. He said, oh, check this out. I was like, that's kind of weird looking. And then he explained it to me, and I was like, oh, this is a thing that Volkswagen made? So I knew right then I had to have one. So in 2012, I went on a forum called VW Vortex. I made a thread, and I said, want to buy Harlequin. And I said I want it to be clean, a 5-speed, in the United States. I believe those were my only 3 things that I was looking for. So I made that thread on Vortex in early 2012, and then December 2012 rolls around, and this guy named Patrick from Wichita, Kansas hits me up and says, Harley for sale in Kansas. Basically, he asked me if I still was looking for a Harlequin, and I said, hell yes. So he sent me the link to the one that he had for sale. Keep in mind, guys, this thing was 5 hours from me. I would have driven 25 hours to get one of these things. So I look at the pictures, I talk to him a little more. About a week and a half later, I go down to Wichita, Kansas. I knew the second we pull up, I'm taking this thing home. At the time, I spent probably a little bit more than people were paying for them, but I wanted one so bad, and this one kind of fell into my lap. I was like, I don't care that I'm gonna spend a little bit more money. I want one so bad. The history on my car specifically is kind of unique. So let's go back to our history lesson. I said they made 4, they took them to the car shows, they made 60 after that, and then they made 200 after that. This one happens to be one of the original 4 that they took to the car shows in 1996. Has a build date of December 95, and it's a Canadian car on top of that. But I get the question a lot, are they numbered? and what number is yours. To be honest with you, Volkswagen never numbered these cars. The only way we can figure out what number about they are is by looking at the VIN. Now, there's been a lot of research done by a guy named Ross. All of his research on rossvw.com. I'll put a link in the bio so you guys go click on it. You guys learn as much as you want about Harlequins. From the research Ross has done, they for sure made 4 of these to take to the car shows. They think they also might have made 2 or 4 more on top of that. If something comes to light where this one is actually like number 19 or something like that, that's fine. As of what I know, this is number 4, and it was for sure one of the ones they took to the car shows back in 1996. That definitely gives it a cool factor to me. Volkswagen actually held on to the car till 1998. At that point, they sold the car to a doctor in California, and then after that, the guy I bought it from bought it and took it to Kansas. So I'm technically the 3rd owner of the car after Volkswagen let it go in 1998, and I've owned it since January 3rd, 2013. The specific color names is Ginster Yellow, Tornado Red, Chagall Blue, and Pistachio Green. It's really up to you for whatever base color or color combination you like. I happen to like green bases, and I got, like I said, really lucky when I found this one because it was a green base, it was a 5-speed, it was clean, it's only 5 hours away. It was basically a perfect storm, and I had the money in my bank account, and then I just blew it all on this thing, but no regrets. Now, as far as modifications go on the Harlequin, there isn't that much done to the car. There really isn't, and I'll go over with you right now. Kicking off the mod list, we have suspension, which is Bilstein BSS9 coilovers. The wheels are 1552 Tarmacs. They are 17 by 8, if I remember correctly, and they're color matched. So we have green, yellow, blue, and red. All right, taillights, hella magic colors. We have a blue one and a green one. We have a VR6 front lip. On Harlequins from the factory, you have a red hood, a yellow fender, and a blue bumper. And then also the grille was yellow as well. That goes all the way across. All this green right here is yellow from the factory. A lot of Harlequin owners decide to go with the body color as the grille color because it's kind of weird that all the colors don't touch except for right here, which would be yellow, and then yellow all the way across. And there's no base color anywhere on the front end at all. So if somebody wants to get me for having a green grille when it should be yellow, that's fine. I think it looks better this way. We also got blue Laminex on the headlights just to kind of go with the blue. And I also did Laminex on the turns and dummies. As far as the interior goes, the most popular mod, I think, for the interior on Harlequins in general is the Momo steering wheel and shift knob combo. And then the seats, these are Recaros. I actually bought these Recaros off of my Harlequin buddy Adien when we were in Ocean City for H2O 3 years ago, maybe? Something like that. His car was in PVW, super nice car. I'll throw a picture of it right here. Link in bio to his Instagram and all that stuff. Other things done to the car, it's got a stereo system with subs in the back. Nothing all that fancy. Now, one of my favorite parts of my car is this. So this is the stock ABA 2-liter with a new speed supercharger kit on it. As you can see, it looks pretty factory, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted it, but to track down a kit that is 100% complete is almost impossible. They haven't made these kits in 15 or 20 years at least. They don't have any parts on the shelves anymore, so the only parts you can really find for these things are from people that bought them, and you gotta hope that they have as many parts as possible to make it work. I waited a couple years till I tracked down a kit that was 100% complete. Didn't need anything. A lot of guys out there, they want the new speed supercharger. They can get the charger, they can get a couple other parts, but they're missing a brace, they're missing a wiring harness, they're missing the intake tubes. It's very hard to find a complete kit, but I waited, and after a couple years, I finally tracked one down in Washington, and I got it. Now, as far as power goes, putting a new speed supercharger on a 2-liter basically gives it as much power as a stock VR6 would. I kind of like how it sounds. I like the ABA. I like that it's factory. And the new speed supercharger is kind of one of those like period correct pieces I really like on the car. It does make it more fun, but it does not make like a whole mess of power. Maybe 130 to the tire. That's literally it, guys. We're not talking this is a rocket ship, but it definitely makes it more fun, and it's one of my favorite pieces on the whole car. And honestly, as far as mods go, that's pretty much it, guys. There's nothing too intense done to this car. Doesn't take a lot to make these cars look cool, and that's kind of what I went after, was just keep it nice and simple. Lower it a little bit, put it on some nice wheels, stance it out a little bit, and that's how the car sits right now. If I do change anything on the car this year, it'll probably be the wheels, but we'll see if I do it this year or maybe next year. Now we're gonna dive into some other questions I got online. What color is listed on the title? I actually have the brand new registration right here. So I don't know how well you guys can read that, but it does say green. As you guys remember, mine's a green base, so it's green on the title and on the registration. Top speed. Let's see. Actually, this is a cool thing to show off right here. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but it goes to 220. And that's because, like I said, this is a Canadian car and this is kilometers. The fastest I've ever had it was about 120 miles an hour. Also, the miles. We're at 287,485 kilometers, which is about 173,000 miles. It's not low miles. I'm just really fortunate that the previous owners kept such good care of it before I got a hold of it. It always stays in the garage and never sees snow or anything. Well, other than what it just did in the driveway, it never sees snow or salt or anything like that. I try to keep as good of care of it as the owners before me. When are you gonna schedule a meetup for 10 plus Harleys? Gotta beat the H2OI record. I think it was 2017, and we set up kind of like a Harlequin meet before the Mark III meet so we could all cruise there together. None of us really knew how many Harlequins would show up. We didn't know how many were there. There was 10 altogether. To my knowledge, there hasn't been that many Harlequins together since they were built in the factory, so that was really cool to see. I'll post up some pictures, show you guys what all that looked like. It was one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of as far as Volkswagen stuff goes. Having 10 Harlequins there, and then we cruised to the Mark III meet, we rolled in, we were like kings. We got our own parking section, we all parked next to each other. I have no idea when we're gonna plan another meetup with 10 plus Harlequins, but I really wanna do one again. We knew when we did it that could be the only time that we ever get that many together, and it was really cool to be a part of, but I hope we do it again sometime soon. How much has prices went up since you bought the car? Prices have gone up quite a bit since I bought it, and it's at least doubled in price. I've heard of some going for almost 20 grand. Maybe one went for over 20 grand. I'm not really sure, but my car is not for sale unless you want to pay a ridiculous amount for it. Like, ridiculous. Whatever you think is a ridiculous amount, double it, that's ridiculous. That's my price. If Vita were to do a new run of Harlequins, would you scoop one? I think I'd kind of, yeah, I think I would. Because right now, I kind of just have the Mercedes as a daily, and I'd love a newer car. If they did a four-door GTI, I'd probably have to scoop one. Four-door GTI, 5-speed, and not wrapped. There's been some dealerships that I've seen that have wrapped them, and that's a cool tribute and everything, but if Volkswagen were to actually do another run of these in a four-door GTI, I would probably be at my dealership and ordering one. What car do you think would look dope with the Harlequin theme? Honestly, I was on an app earlier that lets you select individual body panels and make some different colors. I did a Harlequin Lamborghini Urus. Mark my words, if I can ever afford a $250,000 SUV, it's gonna be a Harlequin one. Promise. All right, guys, and with that being said, nope. My buddy John actually sent me some stickers for the door, and we're gonna put them on right now. First up, we have the Rising Sea. This is John's music project. I'll put a link below so you can go check out his stuff, but we're gonna go ahead and put it on the door. Where are we going, John? Where are we going? Where are we going? Right. I think that looks good. Right there. And the next one, I kind of feel like Charlie and Chocolate Factory right now with a golden ticket. I really like how the sticker comes out. It's like almost a textured black with chrome gold underneath. This is the golden ticket sticker. I'm going to call it that. He does a podcast. It's called Ludwig's Garage. I'll put a link below. He also has his own YouTube. I will link that and his Instagram and all that stuff, but I'll go and put the golden ticket sticker on the door right now. We're going. Where are we going? Ooh, golden ticket. Golden ticket. Going to the top shelf right there. There we go. John is on the board right there. There we go. All right, guys, that is going to do it. If you guys have any other questions about Harlequins that I did not answer, put it in the comments. I'll try to answer as many as I can. That's basically the rundown on Harlequins, the history, all that stuff. Hope you learned something today, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Later.